It's a divorce. She got the house, then lost it anyway. Pitfalls that you have to watch for when you're divorcing someone. So this episode is Welcome to Your Next Move with Luann and Erica. And I am with Caldwell Banker here in North Carolina, Chapel Hill, Caldwell Banker HPW. And you?
It's Wycott Realtors, Livingston, New Jersey.
All right. And we're here to talk about pitfalls and what to look out for. We're in the heat of the moment. You're mad, you're getting a divorce. Listen, sometimes your divorce does not line up with the market, okay? So you got to be careful. Cooler heads must prevail. Listen, a client called me about 6 months ago after divorce was finalized. She had fought hard for that house as a settlement, and one of her kids grew up in, and she won. And her name was on the deed. And she was calling me because the bank was about to foreclose on it, not because she was broke, because nobody told her she needed to refinance the mortgage out of her ex-husband's name within 90 days of settlement. One misstep, that's all it took.
That's all it takes.
And what do you say, Luann?
I say, beware. Like, I was in a situation not like getting foreclosed, but basically me and my ex-husband owned a house together in 2005, and then 2012, maybe a little bit later down the road, we were getting divorced. I think by 2022 or 2021 we got divorced. And basically I gave up my consideration to the property that we had in Pennsylvania. I mean, he basically lived there. And so on the divorce decree, I gave up my consideration to the property, and then we never enforced it. And so basically when he passed away, I still owned the property. So I still had my consideration.
And the reason why is because the mortgage doesn't care about that divorce decree. It doesn't.
That's right. No.
A court order transferring the home doesn't remove the name from the loan. Did you know that?
That's right.
And
you have to take the next step. We didn't take the next step.
So that's something to watch out for.
We just automatically thought, okay, great, now it's all done, it's all legal. It's not.
Yeah, and you usually think when you leave the courtroom that it is, right? But that's something nobody tells you. You gotta be careful. Listen, in North Carolina, we have a rule, and I don't know what about it in Jersey, but you have to be separated 1 year before you can officially get divorced. And the question is, what is considered a separation if you don't file a separation agreement? A lot of people just move out. I have heard, and I'm not representing to be a divorce attorney or anything like that, just a realtor. I've heard situations where somebody moved out, they had proof they moved out, and that was okay. But the more clean thing to do, and what I advise my clients to do, is to file a separation agreement with the court. People think it's expensive and you got to pay a lawyer to do it. You don't. You can actually download it. And today, in this world of AI and all the things, it'll tell you step by step how to do it. You get it notarized, and then there's another document called a free trader agreement, and that means you can have that signed, and that document will protect you should you buy property prior to getting a divorce. And your lawyers will ask for that. They'll say, do you have a separation agreement? Free trader agreement makes it really, really clean and easy for you to buy property without your soon-to-be ex having any claim to it. So these are things to look out for.
Yes.
So, either you can split up, you're really mad, you can split up and leave the house, or you can stay. And a lot of times up in your area, people can't afford to move out. What happens?
Yeah, basically, I've seen a lot where they just kind of cohabitate, or maybe the husband will move out. The wife and the children will live in the house until the children finish school. And then once they're done with high school and they're going into college or wherever they're going, at that point, they will put the house on the market and sell the house. I know a lot of the times the spouse that's living in the house, it's kind of like a sad moment because, you have a lot of memories there. It's kind of like a sombering situation. But,
the one thing you have to watch out for is, can she still afford to stay in the house? Can she buy her spouse out? Can she afford it?
Yeah, well, exactly. And the way the property values have gone up, it's extremely hard to do that. So a lot of the times it's just better to just, start over, new chapter, sell the house, move on. There's a lot of people like back in I guess before like the crash, where they did buy their spouses out, and then they wound up really being underwater because the house is not worth what they paid for it. They were supposed to get their half that was in the house, and then they gave their spouses the other half. So they still had that kind of a debt, They still had like 600,000 or 5, and like a lot of the houses weren't worth it back then. So basically, that's where the short sales came in to prevent the foreclosures, and I did a lot of those back then too. So that's another avenue of getting into divorce with properties not worth the value that they were.
So if you know somebody going through a divorce right now, send them this episode because they need to know. Not after it's over. Not while the horse is at the barn.
That's right.
Right now.
You let the animals out. It's too late.
Right? Because you can make a decision in a heat of a moment, and then, it's not exactly the best financial decision. So these are things to consider, right?
Right. Absolutely.
You can sell, you can split your house, you can buy it out, you can co-own temporarily. Some people live together for years until they're able to get themselves together. Qualifying a loan for a house is harder than you think. It's so much easier to have a spouse or a partner. Income, debt to income, credit. People think they can afford it, but in that area down here, a lot of times people just sell the house and move out and start anew. And sometimes they gotta.
That's basically. Outside of the kids, they're like the first. They're going through a lot as it is, with the parents splitting up and the father leaving, the parent leaving. So they want to make it as painless as possible. Transitioning. They don't want to uproot the kids. They're going through enough already. So, and especially if you're in high school, that's the worst thing you could do to a child is take them out of a high school and put them in where everyone's got their clique together, their group, and here you're just starting over. It's really cruel on the children. So I even tell whatever, it's like, don't move the kids. They're going through enough, and their safe haven is, school and friends and the cliques and the sports and stuff like that. So try to keep things as,
as you can, but it's a financial impact. Rents aren't cheap either. So if you're moving out, you got to pay that extra rent. That takes away from the family income too.
Yeah.
And then one thing here that's like kind of, this is like, I don't know if it happens in New Jersey, but if you happen to have had a little affair while you're married, you could not get your alimony. You don't qualify for your alimony.
I don't know if that
in North Carolina, that's what happens if somebody can prove that you have been cavorting before you got divorced.
Yikes.
You might lose the alimony, so just be careful out there.
Yeah. Play it clean.
Play it clean. Play it clean. Listen, talk, speak up, communicate, and don't let it sit. Don't let it fonder. If you think it's over, get out. Or get that separation agreement filed before you start dating. Let's say we were separated before we started dating, so
that's right.
That's good. Document everything.
Always play above board.
Play above board, right?
Yeah.
So, what do you want to walk away with today? Yeah. What are we talking about, right? It's emotionally loaded decision to get a divorce, of course. And it's also emotionally loaded to decide what to do with your marital assets, including the children, right? I guess kids are an asset too, but it always gets a little hairy when you have kids involved. If you don't have any kids involved, it's a little easier, of course, and you can do it. But the deed and the mortgage are two completely different documents, and you need both handled before the divorce is final. And the best time to call a real estate professional in a divorce is before you tell your attorney what you want, not after.
That's right.
So call a professional and get some advice. And the one thing I was worried about is if I was the real estate professional for the couple, and now I got to choose. Do I have to choose or no? Can we all be civil and work together? I won't take sides, I promise.
No, we wear many hats as realtors. We're like, the mediators, the psychiatrists, therapists. I had an instant when I sold them the house, everything was happy, and then years later they were getting a divorce, and so I was like on a picket fence, like balancing myself with them. And they were like so heated. And I had to like de escalate things. And, because the thing is, if either party doesn't sign, we don't close. So I had to make sure that everything was calm and everything was going to work out. And, I don't know how I navigated through that, but we did.
That is crazy. So you did it and we got through it. And sometimes we do help people through. I've helped people file their separation agreements, their free trader agreements. YouTube, you can watch YouTube videos if you're against AI. Or you could do Claude AI.
I love YouTube.
YouTube does it all. Like, I'm like, hey, it'll give you all the things. It was like, hey.
That's right. That's
Yep.
right.
All right. Well, you take care and
Beware out there.
be careful out there. Okay. And if you like this episode, share it, subscribe, share it with your friends, tell a friend, click here.
Ask us questions. We'd love
Ask
to
questions.
answer.
Yeah, we'd love to answer, and we'd love to be your go-to attorney. Not attorneys. I keep thinking I was an attorney, so I keep thinking to myself. Your
think that's
go-to
why you say
realtor.
that.
Your go-to realtors in New Jersey and greater area of North Carolina. Talk to you later. Have a good day.
Take care. Till the next time.
Till the next time.